Welcome to another Be Green Monkey video. What if there was something very simple that you can do that will help you lose fats, be smarter, and extend your lifespan? You will probably think that I'm talking about some new superfood or I'm into some weird health fad. Now what if I added that this one simple thing will have little to no effect on your muscle loss? It will decrease your cancer risk, make you feel less hungry, and help you improve your eating habits. Now you must be thinking that I'm batshit crazy, right? Well, stay with me till the end of the video and find out. Before we get into the meat of the video, please subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. Get notified every week when we post new content just like this to help you become your dream self. In this video, we are talking about intermittent fasting. We will talk about what the basic principle is, what are the different types, how it works, take you through an overview on hunger, and help you figure out an ideal way for you to get started on intermittent fasting right away. Now with that, let's get started. Intermittent fasting is a time-restricted feeding in which you alternate between 16 to 48 hours of fasting coupled with corresponding smaller eating windows. It is not a diet but a pattern of eating. There are two common ways of going about this concept. The first one is an alternative day fasting, which is exactly as the name implies. You have regular food intake for the first day and then you fast for the second day. For example, you can eat on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday and decide to fast on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. The other option, which is the more typical approach and what we will be discussing mainly in this video, is sticking to a daily eating window of 8 to 2 hours and fasting for the remainder of 16 to 22 hours in the day. A 16-8 approach could be, for example, eating between 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. Now before I get into how it works, let's get a clearer understanding of what I mean by fasting. During the time in which you are in a fasted state, you can't consume anything with calories. So you can't have milk, juice, fruits, coconut water, salads, or anything like that. But you will want to stay hydrated, so have a lot of water throughout the day and feel free to consume carbonated water, zero-calorie sweeteners, a black coffee, black or green tea. Just remember that it is very critical that you do not consume any calories when you are in a fasted state. During your eating window, you will want to eat more fats, more protein, and less carbs. Keep sugar to the minimum and eat a decent amount of salt, because not only is it essential to your well-being, but also lack of it will make you more hungry. More on this topic in a future video. I would not recommend that you try this if you're diabetic already, if you are underweight, you are younger than 18, or you are pregnant. And you should be very careful when following this if you have trouble maintaining your blood glucose level, such that you are frequently ending up in a hypoglycemic state. Now let's understand how a simple act of fasting can provide the magnitude of benefits that we discussed at the start of this video. It is not magic, but simple human physiology. Fasting lowers your body's insulin levels. Insulin is a powerful hormone in your body which is responsible for converting glucose, or sugar in general, into fats. Fat loss due to fasting happens simply because when you fast, you consume less sugar, and thus your pancreas releases less insulin in response to less sugar. But at the same time, your body wants to maintain a certain blood glucose level, and thus this fasted state triggers your body to produce another hormone called glucagon. Glucagon sounds like it's some evil robot from Terminator, but actually all it is terminating is your body's stored fats. What glucagon does is that it converts your body's stored fats to glucose, thus reducing your body fat percentage. Keep in mind that fats are nothing but stored energy in its most basic form, and your body will happily utilize it if it is triggered to do so. To really kickstart this process and get the most bang for your effort, make sure you're doing some exercise in the morning when you're in this fasted state. This process also has an added benefit of reducing the risk of diabetes, as it is reducing your body's insulin levels, thus your body responds to it better. Gain muscles? how can fasting help you gain muscles? Well, what fasting does is that it increases human growth hormone or HGH in your body. This hormone helps your body increase the muscle mass, recover faster, and look better. HGH is one of the key steroids that professional bodybuilders take, mind you, in much higher quantity to get those crazy gains. But simple fasting can also increase this hormone in your body. As the name implies, it encourages development and growth in your body. But not only that, it increases the production of collagen in your body, which will improve the quality of your skin by improving its elasticity. Keep in mind that to get these benefits, you will want to keep exercising on your fasting days. But we won't spend too much time on this point because end of the day, if your goal is to gain a lot of muscles, to gain size, then you will want to eat excess calories every day. So you will want to be in the stage of caloric surplus, which is something difficult to do when you're fasting. But to capture these benefits while trying to gain muscle, you can try intermittent fasting for about a week after every 4 to 6 weeks of eating in caloric surplus. Improving cognitive performance. Before we get into this point, keep in mind that being hungry is not the same thing as being in a fasted state. Of course, when you're hungry, you're not gonna be thinking straight. These cognitive benefits that we will be discussing are for a fasted state. More on this will be discussed later in the video. It is a very common myth that our brain can only run on glucose. But in reality, it would actually prefer to run on ketones such as beta-hydroxybutyric acid, because this compound increases the efficiency of energy production in our mitochondria, which is just another way of saying that it results in more efficient consumption of oxygen. Our body breaks fats into ketones when it is in a stage of ketosis. This is something which typically happens when your body has depleted its glucose stores to a low enough level after about 12 hours of fasting. These ketones power not just your brain but also your body tissues, just like glucose would. They just do so more efficiently, helping us focus and think more clearly. On a separate point, fasting also increases the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which is a key hormone for growing new brain cells. We currently don't know why this happens, but it has been shown in research that it does. BDNF helps improve memory, creates stronger neuron pathways, and helps us think more clearly. This BDNF increase is also seen post-exercise and is one of the reasons why exercise is recommended as the first thing you do in the morning before you head over to your work. Increase in lifespan and reduced risk of cancer. This is the most intriguing benefit of intermittent fasting or fasting in general. The idea is centered around training your body's stress response system by putting it through a fasted state such that it is better prepared to handle stresses like cancer or cardiovascular diseases which may come later in life. Fasting forces your body to be more efficient when it comes to energy or nutrient utilization. Think of it like this: if you have a big house in which you have lived for years and years, then you're gonna accumulate a lot of junk that you don't need. But instead, if you're going through the stress of moving all the time, then you will only keep the things that you need and you will get rid of the crap faster. This is not a perfect analogy, but it conveys the point. Cancerous cell is just a mutation gone wrong. These cells are nothing but junk for your body, and when in a fasted state, your body will prioritize removal of these cells from your body so that they don't consume any of its limited energy resources. But take this point with a grain of salt. Although these benefits have been shown in multiple studies, most of them were done on rats which were put through intermittent fasting throughout their life. So the effect of periodic intermittent fasting is still a hotly debated topic among the research community, but it does appear to be very promising. In today's society, we are encouraged to keep eating and eating and eating. We are told that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Hunger has very little to do with it. We are taught in schools that Feeling hungry is our body's way of telling us that it needs more nutrients, but hunger has pretty much nothing to do with it. If you have ever been hungry for a period of time in your life, you will know that hunger does not simply increase linearly the longer you go without food. In reality, what happens is that you get these pangs of hunger at the typical times when you would usually consume your food, and it would go away after a while. This is simply because hunger is controlled by a hormone called ghrelin, which spikes when we would typically have our meal. If you are doing an extended fast, you will feel way more hungry on the first day of fasting than you will feel on the third day. This leads us to our next point, that ghrelin release can be controlled and reconditioned by training. When it comes to intermittent fasting, take it slow. You will want your body to gradually adapt at intermittent fasting. To be successful, you want to be consistent. Here's the methodology that I would recommend you follow. You will want to start off with skipping snacking in the day. Let's say you consume 3 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner. I don't want you to have any snacks in between those meals. So no eating cookies, fruits, juice, or any sugared beverages between those meals. If you want to indulge in any of these, do so within your 3 regular meals. Once you're comfortable with this, which might take a week or 2, figure out an 8-hour window which works within your schedule in which you can eat all these 3 meals. For example, you can have breakfast at 10 a.m., lunch at 1 p.m. and dinner at 5 p.m. such that you finish your last meal by 6 p.m. The first few days are going to be the most difficult, but trust me that it is going to feel completely natural and comfortable within a few weeks. You will not even feel hungry outside of these hours because your ghrelin release has been trained to this shorter eating window. Now the optional final step is to restrict yourself to a 4-hour window of eating and fasting for the remaining 20 hours of the day. An example plan for this could be to have your first meal at 12 p.m. and the second one at 3 p.m. such that you finish that meal by 4 p.m. This would once again be very uncomfortable for the first few days, but keep in mind that the best things in your life always start off uncomfortable. Whether it is the first date, the first interview, or from what I've heard, the first kid. As an FYI, a lot of world religions do recommend fasting at various points within the year, whether it is Ramadan for Muslims or Navratri for Hindus. The benefits are similar as long as the tips and methodologies mentioned in this video are followed. If this philosophy aligns with your goals, give it a shot. Intermittent fasting is probably the single best thing you can do to reach your fat loss goals. And combine that with exercise and reduced calorie intake to reach your fat loss goals at a supercharged pace. As long as you maintain a decent nutrient intake, which includes higher amount of protein and healthy fat consumption, and consume all your necessary vitamins, minerals, and omega-3 fatty acids, you can practice this continuously for months and even years. Feel free to cheat every 3 to 6 weeks for a day or 2. This will not affect your results in a negative way, but actually might enhance them by putting unexpected load on your metabolism. Personally, I'm at a very healthy body fat percentage right now, and my goal is lean muscle gain. So what I personally do is I eat a lot for about 6 weeks, and then for 1 week I would do intermittent fasting. Furthermore, I also practice extended fasting for 24 to 48 hours for about 3 times per year. Guys, down below in the comment section, let me know if you like this topic and if you would like us to keep putting content such as this out every week to help you hit your goals.
To do so, make sure that you write "go" in the comment down below, and we know you're supporting us, and we'll keep going.
Give it a like if you like that, and give it a dislike if you dislike that. Let me know if you have any questions on this topic, or if you would like us to cover a topic of your choice in future. We will see you next week, and have yourself a fantabulous day. What was the dance move? You have seen that thing?
Backpack flossing?
No, backpack kid.
It's called flossing? Yeah.
I don't know.
But your hips are supposed to move. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Much.
This? this,
Yeah, you know the footage is going to
This.
last quite a bit, right?
this.
Yeah.
Is that how it is?
Can we do this?